The Senate candidate, Martha McSally. Congresswoman McSally, let's start with the DACA issue. Of course, you're on the border state. You've been a real strong proponent of the wall. Can this deal actually get done? Both sides, despite the rhetoric, seem like they both want what they want very badly.
Well, in the House, Charles, we've got my bill that we worked with a number of our colleagues. It's really gaining momentum. We've got over 80 co-sponsors right now. A lot of our colleagues said, let's bring it to the floor. The Republican Study Committee represents 150 members, has endorsed it. And we're continuing to try and move that bill forward so that we can have a product that comes out of the House that the President said he supports, that the Secretary of Homeland Security says meets their operational requirements for securing the border, ending chain migration, ending the visa lottery, closing loopholes that cartels are using right now, and make sure that we're not creating another generation of a DACA population. We, in good faith, are at the table negotiating, and I think what the President has revealed through his latest actions and leadership in this negotiation is the Democrat leadership and their extreme reactions to it. It looks like they really don't want to solve the problem. It looks like they want to just use it as an electoral ploy. Yeah.
In your bill, what provisions are you making for the DACA recipients? How many of them would be allowed to stay, and would there be a path to citizenship?
Yeah. So in our bill, again, which we've been working on for 5 months, I was in the White House in that meeting with the President, bipartisan meeting, and before he made his announcement last week. In our bill, the DACA recipients, current DACA recipients, are allowed to stay here legally, renewed every 3 years. There is not a special path to citizenship for them. They can take existing paths to citizenship, which mean marry a U.S. citizen or get an employer base. And it is the population that previously had qualified for this. They can work, they can travel, they can go to school. And again, we believe this was a good starting ground for us for the negotiations and really the sweet spot to get consensus with Republicans and conservatives and then, sit down at the table with the Democrats to negotiate this issue. But look, our priority has to be to address the very real failed border security policies of the past. I represent a border district. I chair the subcommittee on border security. We have cartels trafficking through our communities right now. So we need real border security with the border wall, unleashing everything the agents need in order to keep us safe. This is a mistake of the past. We've got to address these issues of sanctuary cities, Kate's Law, and other things. This is the priority of the American people and the priority of the President.
I also want to ask you about you're a very strong proponent of a strong military. You've got the budget battle looming. Yes. It seems like President Trump and his cabinet want a big increase in military spending. Is the offset to that to give the Democrats big spending on some of these social issues? And if so, what would that do for the deficit?
Well, I would hope not. Look, it should not be a Democrat or Republican issue to keep our country safe. And when our men and women raise their right hand and take an oath of office and say that they're going to put their lives on the line to defend us, that we give them everything they need. We are in a very sobering state right now with our military readiness. Over 80 people died in training accidents in not combat last year because of the lack of training hours and manpower and parts and the things that they need in order to be ready to defend us. So I would just ask my Democrat colleagues to please come support the troops and do not hold them hostage again to your other pet projects, because there's just too much at stake, and it's our primary responsibility to keep America safe.
We do know that the world is becoming a much more dangerous place, and this is not one area we want to slack off.